I like to refer to a lot of the James Gunn nuts, if you will, as tail gunners because they're so far up James Gunn's ass he can do no wrong. And I get accused all the time of being a Snyder bro, which I think is hilarious because I watched all 3 Rebel Moon movies and they were painful to get through. They were absolutely painful to get through. I didn't like any of them. I haven't seen any of his zombie movies. He's got a couple of zombie movies. I haven't seen them. I'm not a zombie guy. I've never watched The Walking Dead or any of the spin-offs or any of that stuff. I don't like zombies. So like, you're not going to get me to watch anything zombie. I've seen The Watchmen, but it's been so long. I don't remember anything from that project except the blue guy that was like naked. I just don't. I've never read the Watchmen comic books. It's just not one of those things that I care about. I've seen 300, but it's been so long since I've seen that movie when it first came out. All I remember is him saying, "We are Sparta," and kicking some dude down a well. Like that's like the only thing I remember from that movie. Oh, and there was the dude with the big chain from his nose. I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant take. It got away from being in, if you will, Donner's shadow. It took the story in lots of different directions, which I thought were fantastic, but we still kind of felt like it was in a good place. Batman vs. Superman was okay. I like the extended edition better, but again, like I felt like they jumped the shark trying to shove Batman in with Wonder Woman and squeezing them all together, and it just was too much too soon. They should have did a slow rollout, but you know, Warner Brothers is constantly trying to catch the coattails of Marvel. I liked Zack Snyder's Justice League better than I liked Joss Whedon's stupid version that he did. I did like the music cues in Joss Whedon's version where he brought back the Danny Elfman score for a little bit in some spots and then brought back John Williams' score a little bit in some spots because it gave it a little bit of a different energy, but the movie was just camp. It was stupid. The Flash having his face buried in Gal Gadot's stunt double's breasts and the mustache thing, and the movie was a disaster. Zack Snyder's Justice League was good, but again, like when they originally announced they were doing Justice League, they announced that it was going to be Justice League Part 1 and Part 2. So it made sense that there was 4 hours of footage, and basically you could have cut the Snyder cut into 2 movies and released them in the theaters if they were finished and everything. But sitting through 4 hours on Blu-ray, which I bought it on Blu-ray, was tough. You know, I had to pause it, get up, whatever. I could not have sat through 4 hours in a theater watching that. That would have been insane. So yeah, it should have been broken up into 2 movies. But I am not a Zack Snyder fan per se. I remember seeing Sucker Punch. I remember liking parts of the film, but I only remember the kind of Nazi zombie thing they did in the trench where the girls were fighting some people in the trench like World War II. And that's it. Like, I totally don't remember that movie. The thing about a lot of Zack Snyder's films I've noticed, other than Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and the Snyder Cut, are not memorable to me. Like, I watch them, and when I'm done, I kind of forget them. James Gunn is somebody that's totally different. I don't like his humor. I don't like Peacemaker. I don't like anything that he does, like the Suicide Squad. I don't like his jokes. I like more cerebral writing. James Gunn comes across as a 5-year-old making a movie. I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy films. I think there were parts that I liked. I liked when the characters interacted with other Marvel characters when they were in Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. But as far as the standalone Guardians of the Galaxy films, I could give 2 shits about them. They didn't appeal to me. And I saw the 3rd film in the theater, and I hated that James Gunn put the F-bomb in that movie because it was one single word, and it made no sense to be in that film, period. The joke was the joke. She couldn't get in the car door. It was funny on its own. But he wanted to have this weird thing where he said the first F-bomb in a Marvel movie. Why? It it didn't serve any purpose, you know? And so, and I'm seeing stuff like that in the Superman with the middle finger Green Lantern. I'm seeing it with, you know, now you've got Lois Lane saying, holy shit. I mean, if you think about Margot Kidder in Superman 2, when the supervillain had her by the throat, she turned around when they lost their powers and said, you know what? You've been a real pain in the neck, and punched her in the face and sent her down into that ravine, that trench. She could have said, you've been a real big pain in the ass, and punched her. Or she could, but she didn't, because it wasn't that tone. It wasn't. And so, you know, when you're trying to capture a movie like Superman again for the fans, and they keep talking about the kids and toys and crypto and all this stuff, then you put a middle finger in it. You got Lois Lane saying, holy shit, in a scene. It just like, it's like he can't help himself but put his Peacemaker potty mouth bullshit into the movies. And I don't like James Gunn films. But I'm not a Snyder bro. I'm not. And that's just it. So people, stop calling me a Snyder bro, because I just don't, that's not me.